Good day, everyone. Brad here to explain some of the lore and storyline behind Galaxy's Edge. So, you may be wondering, Disney's got this huge new land open, huge place to explore and visit, but what's the story behind Batuu? Why are you there? What are some of the characters? And I feel like they didn't really set that up in any way, which makes it interesting. You know, you can create it yourself, but we do have right here two comic books. So Marvel has published these Galaxy's Edge comics. It's a 5-part series, and it does help give you some background to some of the things you'll see in Galaxy's Edge. One of the more commonly known ones is Vi Marathi, the character with like the blue hair and it's like a red and brown jacket. You'll see her walking around. At first, when I saw her, I thought she was just like a guest at the park, but she's actually a Resistance member there that you can interact with. There's going to be a book coming out later this year explaining some of her story. But this Galaxy's Edge comic, so this is the first one. This is a variant cover. I got this one at Disneyland. Alright, the normal cover has Han Solo on the front. Now what's interesting is straight off you'll see they're talking about the Ronto Roasters, and there's a nice little plug to see that droid himself trying to sell the product. You'll see they have the TIE Echelon landing. So what's happening in the story is the First Order's here to kind of take over Batuu, but they're looking for something specific, and Dok Ondar is going to be the main character for all 5 of these stories. So Dok Ondar is one that, if you've been to Galaxy's Edge, you will likely know. He's right there. And you've got these 3 others, which are just kind of mercenaries attempting to get a Sith artifact from him. Now, Dok Ondar, he has a lot of ancient supplies, typically in the Jedi and Sith things, like relics. Alright, so this is part 1 of 5, Baiting the Hook. And what this whole story is about is these mercenaries are visiting Dok Ondar to try and get something from him. But while they're in his shop, they notice the mini Sarlacc. You'll probably see it right there. The mini Sarlacc. And if you've been in the shop, you'll see it. And then he goes off explaining the whole story of how he got it. And the whole story of how he got it is Han Solo and Chewbacca themselves went out on a mission from Dok Ondar to acquire baby Sarlaccs. They get attacked by them. This story's pretty straightforward. It's just a lot of a little banter between them. It's a quick story. Nothing too deep or exciting in this one, if I'm honest. But all it really explains is how they got that. Now, moving on to the next book. The next book has a lot more interesting things. It's starting off really by the cover. So you've got a familiar face here. You got Greedo, who you'll remember from Episode 4, A New Hope, the famous Han shot first scene. Now, what's interesting in this one is in the front, they're showing the same characters. But what's happening is it starts off straight back at the Clone Wars, okay? So Ki-Adi-Mundi, I'm trying to remember his name. Actually, it's on the next page. Let me check that. Yeah, Ki-Adi-Mundi losing his lightsaber because Dok Ondar now has his lightsaber. Which makes me think, how cool would it be if in the future they make more legacy lightsabers? I always said I wish they had Qui-Gon Jinn and Count Dooku, which they don't have, but what if they made his as well? Because it's a pretty neat looking lightsaber, and again, you can see it right here. So that'd be cool if they hinted at new lightsabers coming. But the main story behind this one is how he acquired the lightsaber. And that's explaining it. So Greedo was on a mission trying to get it. He was stealing it from some of the Muns too as well. So they're referencing even like the Plagueis book. And another interesting reference in this one is that, let's see where I can find it. One of the women who's in the mercenary squad actually is from Sereno. Now if you've read or not read, but listened to the audiobook, the official canon Dooku Jedi Lost audiobook, you'll know that he's Count of Sereno and all that. But this happens well after. This is kind of in the current time frame. And you'll see here, yeah, her line is, This score will earn us enough so that I can return to Sereno and restore my family's fortunes and never have to dodge laser fire again. You'll see her right there. So it makes me wonder who she is, because I don't want to spoil the end of the Dooku Jedi Lost, but his sister, it can't be his sister. Jezza, that's her name. So basically this goes into the explanation of how he acquires this lightsaber. And then it reveals more of the current situation, which is this relic here that Dok Ondar is trying to move, but the mercenaries are trying to take from him. So these stories are kind of in the present and then in the past at the same time, explaining both sides of the story. First one's okay, second one's really interesting, and it has me wanting to read more because there's other little things about Galaxy's Edge happening in the bigger story, and I'm sure it will all come together at the end. I'm looking forward to the Galaxy's Edge book. It's called Black Spire. I believe it comes out in August. It might be, it's like in 2 months or so. But if you want to know more about Galaxy's Edge and Batuu itself and know some of the history, some of what's going on, because you see the characters, like you go in Dok Ondar's shop, but who is he? Why does he have these things? It doesn't really make any sense. But reading this stuff will help you understand it just a little bit more. So thank you all for watching. I hope you found this enjoyable and learned a thing or two about it. I would recommend picking these up though. You go to Disney, these Galaxy's Edge comics, because they fill you in, especially if you're a fan of Star Wars. And it gives you some fan service for some of the past stories, and it's all canon. So that's going to do it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you all for watching.